what I have noticed is whether it was Adi Shankara or the recent Chandrasekhara Saraswati ji, who's also called Mahaperiva, they were Devi Upasakas. And now, if you remember the movie called The Man Who Knew Infinity, or if you read about Srinivas Ramanujan, he says that I can't explain how I'm getting these equations. It's all coming to me in Devi. And Devi comes and tells me, and I do it. Same way, Ramakrishna Paramsa that you mentioned in our previous episode said that he was a Kali Upasaka. Now, if we go back and look at a little bit more, during Adi Shankara time, for example, Saundarya Lahari, where it says Shiva Shakti, so Shiva and Shakti. Shakti is the primordial. Then there are rupas of Shakti, various rupas that we can, and viewers also know that. So what is this thing where serious people seem to prefer to be Devi Upasakas? What is the mystery here, sir?
So it's a great question. In one way, Shiva and Shakti are not really different. They are two sides of the same coin. As I mentioned in a previous video on P Gurus,
yes, you did.
Shiva is the cosmic potential energy, whereas Shakti is the cosmic kinetic energy.
Right. Yes,
and there's no difference between potential and kinetic energy except the functionality. When the potential energy needs to do some activity, it converts into kinetic energy and does something. And when kinetic energy has to recede, there's nothing to do, it basically becomes potential energy. So they're basically convertible. So that is why Shastra says that Shiva and Shakti are not really different. They're just two sides of the same coin. Another way to look at it is, instead of calling Shiva Shakti, we can also look at it as Brahman and Prakriti, or Brahman and Shakti. But the bottom line is the Shakti form or the Devi form is considered to be kinetic in nature, whereas the other thing is considered potential, inactive versus active, potential versus kinetic. And if you look in terms of human beings, the difference between men and women is women can give birth to a new entity. They can bring new beings into the world. Similarly, it is the kinetic aspect of consciousness, not the potential aspect of consciousness, but the kinetic part of the consciousness is that which can give rise to new things, whether it's a thought, a perception of something, seeing that there is a computer in front of me. That perception is basically an entity that is being born in my consciousness. Similarly, any actions that you do, any desires that you have, all these are basically constantly various thoughts, desires, and actions are being born within us. So that they can basically be created only through the kinetic aspect of the consciousness. So that kinetic aspect of consciousness is called Shakti or Devi. So that is why people who come to this world, not just to realize and merge in the Brahman, but to do some activity, do some important work, they are inherently drawn towards Devi, some form of the Devi or the other, because to do things in the world, whether materially or spiritually, whether to accumulate wealth or whether to, like Shankaracharya did, go around the country, participate in debates and spread knowledge and establish some new organizations, whether that or in the case of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, they create a Vivekananda who can go and spread dharma across the world and start and sow the seeds of Sanatan Dharma in the Western lands. So all that basically is actual work that needs to be done. And for work that needs to be done, you need the blessings of the kinetic aspect of consciousness or Shakti or Devi. So that is why you see that lot of sadhakas who come to do important work in the world are drawn towards Devi. There is actually an interesting description of Devi's birth in the Devi Mahatmyam, also known as Durga Saptasati. In the second chapter, I believe, it describes how the Devi was created. When Mahishasura came, and Mahishasura, by the way, he symbolizes our own laziness, our own egoistic laziness is symbolized by Mahishasura. So when he needs to be killed, all the devatas together create Devi. And the way it is described is various devatas take their own Shakti and with that they create a supreme form. For example, it says Shiva Shakti becomes the face of that being, and Vishnu Shakti becomes the hands of that being. Agnideva Shakti becomes the three eyes of that being. Like that, various devatas give away their Shakti, and then this entity is formed. What that means is that it's not that Devi did not exist before she was created by these devatas. This is just metaphorical. What it means is Devi Shakti is what is manifesting within Vishnu, Shiva, Agni, etc. as their Shakti. And Devi's eyes portion basically is the Shakti that is making Agni conduct his business in the world. And Devi's hands basically represent the Shakti which is making Vishnu do various things and maintain balance in the world, maintain dharma in the world. So it is basically Devi is the sum total of the energy, the kinetic aspect of the consciousness that is manifesting through various beings, whether it is human beings, animals, devatas, etc., or demons, etc. Nobody can do anything, nobody can perceive anything, can do anything, can desire anything without the Divine Mother expressing through them. The Divine Mother expresses as Ichha Shakti, the aspect of desiring things. Kriya Shakti, the aspect of doing things. And Gnana Shakti, the aspect of perceiving and knowing things. So she manifests as these three aspects in various people. And because of that, we are able to perceive the reality around us, the different objects that are around us, and manipulate them, do actions that basically manipulate them in some way, and understand and also desire, want to do certain things to those objects, or want those objects to do certain things to us. So all this is happening with the play of the Shakti. And blessings of that Devi is what will enable us to channel the Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and Gnana Shakti within us and do some meaningful work in the world. So that is why many sadhakas who come for important work in the world do worship the Divine Mother.